Hello, it's us. Except we're missing somebody. Jason, our own banana, left the tripod hanging. That's why we keep falling over. Al keeps laughing. I make a fool of myself. All because we don't have a third partner. The triumvirate. You know, I'm FDR. That's Churchill. And we need our Stalin. We're Fat Jack's Comicrypt. Thanks always for hanging out with us. We're here now on the experience. We'll be doing this from 6 till about 8 o'clock. We're a claim sales show, so we are going to attempt to convince you to maybe purchase some of these comics, or if anything else, maybe you'll just enjoy our fun, family-friendly, banter. Because if there's one thing that we've never been accused of, it's being inappropriate. Like we are right down the middle, just maintaining 4-quadrant demographic interest. So we appeal to everybody. So we're going to maintain that brand, and in the act of maintaining that brand, we are going to attempt to sell some comic books. So for anyone who is following us over from the local show that just ended on the Fat Jack's Comicrypt Facebook page that we do from 4:30 to about now, there are a few books up here that you will probably recognize, but they didn't sell on the local show, so we give people who maybe only check us out on the experience a chance to see what we had available. We also have a few other new titles, books. We got a bunch of bundles, story bundles. So I don't know. We'll just kind of wander, meander around, and see if there's anything that interests you. If you have any questions, obviously, please hit us up in the chat. Al is very good at maintaining that, and we will do our best to answer or participate in whatever's going on in the chat. Because again, as many of you maybe watched this show before, when we reach a point where the chat isn't very active, we get kind of lazy, slow, tired. I don't know. Can't really put my finger on the feeling.
Apathetic.
Yes. Yeah, as if we're just talking to ourselves, and we could do that without being live. All right, so here's how it works. So if you've never done this before, or you have, bear with me. Let's just do a couple little bits of business real fast. So claim sales show, claim the books in the chat. Please be as specific as possible. That helps us out, so there's no confusion, and everyone, no infighting or anything of that nature. If you are here, you shop at our Center City location in Philadelphia, the books will be either in your subscription or on hold under your name behind the register for you, so you can just come in and pick them up. If you are a Jersey customer and you shop at the Jersey shop, we will obviously send those books over to Jersey for you to pick up there. If you are outside of the Philadelphia area and you need us to ship the books, we're going to need to get your contact and your shipping info. And the best way to do that is to email us at fjccshow@gmail.com. That's how we get your information. That's how Al is able to send out the invoices, things of that nature. Shipping, unless it's changed, starts out first item $7, and every additional item after that, obviously, the shipping increases, but we will try to keep it as low as possible, because as we like to joke around here, we're not trying to profit off of shipping. We want you to get these books, and we want to get paid for them. So
if we are, we're doing a terrible job at it.
Yeah.
We're not profiting from shipping at all.
No. Let me think real quick before I lose my train of thought. If anyone wants to follow us on social media, the one that seems to be the most up-to-date daily is the Instagram page at the FJC Paradox. There it is, hanging out on the screen. Sometimes when we have big key books, things of that nature, they'll appear there first. So if you don't want to wait till Sunday, please feel free. We had a Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2, third print with a gorgeous Richard Corbin gatefold cover. That bad boy did not make it to Sunday. Somebody pulled the trigger on that quite early. Let's just show that off just because we all love Richard Corbin here. Look at that gorgeous. Now, yeah, it's a wraparound cover. So if you're like, where's the rest of the turtles? They're on the back. But there is somebody in the Instagram comments said, that is the best April O'Neil has ever looked. I wonder if it has something to do with her breasts.
Check, if you go to the Instagram, it covers, you can see it.
Yeah, you can see
the whole thing.
See the whole thing, yeah.
Very nice JLA Avengers.
Yeah, right, yeah. It sucked that it was only like a mid-grade. Marshall was like, oh, I want that. And then I was like, oh, it's a fine plus. And he's like, nah, I'll wait for a high grade.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, dude, it's like $4. But whatever. Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah. So if at any point Alan and I start babbling or talking too much to entertain ourselves, please just hit us up in the chat. We will always prioritize whatever your questions are or whatever you're claiming. We will stop in mid-sentence to help you guys out, because what's the point of us doing this if not to benefit you? Also, again, our New Year's resolution, Al and I are trying to be better businessmen. So anything that gets claimed tonight, especially once the invoice goes out, which is usually Monday or Tuesday, 10 days to pay for it and allow us to ship it out. After 10 days, if something happens or whatever, sorry, we're going to have to take those books and put them back into the rotation.
And this is not, if you're a subscriber in good standing, it doesn't matter. 10 days from the day you claimed it, because you can't be sitting on your subscription and then put books on hold. It's a slippery slope, and we don't want anybody to get caught up in that. So it's nothing personal, believe me. And I'm going to be emailing a few people this week just because things are getting a little out of hand with certain collections, we'll say.
Yeah.
And it's not like, we appreciate everybody coming in and purchasing stuff here and subscriptions. But we got movies books.
Yeah.
And like Mike's buying these collections, he needs the money back. Like
so we can buy more collections. So we can have.
Yeah, it's a business. It's a business. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. So we have to acknowledge that the show is a little bit different than just coming in and putting a book on hold or what have you. Like so if you claim it tonight, it's with the assumption that you want the book like now.
There's a lot of moving parts here. It's not just me and him dicking around.
Yeah, please.
There's a whole lot of stuff that goes on during the week that we're not part of, but we feel the repercussions. So it's nothing personal.
Yeah, but we have to acknowledge that, because again, as much as sometimes we like to joke around and act like a bunch of jackasses, we as we like to joke, we need to keep the lights on.
So, those gotta get paid.
Yeah.
Yo, did you know Wonderland closed? Or did Wonderland close?
No, I did not know this.
There's a real estate sign up in the window. I don't know if it's just for downstairs.
Oh,
that kind of shook me a little bit.
I wonder, like,
they've been there. They were there long. They've been there since the
70s. I mean, they were a legit head shop.
Yeah,
they were back when Rittenhouse was. To call it the Philly Hate Ashbury is maybe offensive to Hate Ashbury. It was just, if you wanted to hang out in Rittenhouse Park and watch people do drugs and maybe do certain sexual acts with each other, the 70s was a fun.
You have to wait long. All right. Top row right. Wait. All right. Mr. McHale.
Hey, Mr. McHale, what's up, bud?
He's having a little trouble telling me where he wants.
Okay.
All right. With the red head on the third down on the left. On his left. You mean over here? You mean Red Room?
Red Room? The Red Room books?
Third down with the red head. Oh, no, maybe this one. You talking about bodies? Yeah, redhead. That makes sense.
Redhead.
I was
yes.
thinking like a redhead. Like
it's so funny?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, where's the head that's red?
You mean bodies. If that's not what you mean, let me know. Sorry.
But this is a good moment. Okay, so we had a couple copies of Bodies #1, a local show. So this is the few we have left over. But let's just point this out in case people aren't aware of the news over the past, past week. This is an issue that is trending. So I imagine some of you might recognize the cover. So this was an 8-issue Vertigo miniseries from 2014. This was pretty much the basic concept was 4 different detectives investigating the same murder, but at 4 different time periods. It's a high concept thing. I don't want to like bog you down with it. It would absolutely, and the reason why it's trending now, and the reason why it's going up in value, high, like this is a high grade copy, but like high price seems to be in that $12 to $15 range. And that's primarily because Netflix has optioned this series for a Netflix series. So because of that, this was a book that was overlooked. This is a book that probably got destroyed in a lot of dollar bins. But now people are clamoring and looking for it. And so we are letting you know that we do have a copy here of Bodies number 1. This is a high grade copy at $8. So again, 8-issue Vertigo miniseries that has recently been optioned by Netflix. And the first issue is obviously the one that is carrying some value. So there you go. All right.
And then Mr. McHale, he's interested in this whole thing.
Yes. Okay. So let's just talk real quickly about some of the books. Anyone who was watching on the local show, you've seen these, but let's just talk about them real quick, and then we'll get to some of the newer stuff. So first up, we have Catwoman number 1 from 1993, embossed cover. It's by Joe Duffy and Jim Ballant. This was the Catwoman series that ran throughout all of the 90s and pretty much was a part of the bad girl fad, even though that was probably a little discriminatory towards Catwoman because she's just badass, not just sexy. This is a high-grade copy at $8, but I do want to point out right there in silver ink is a signature by Joe Duffy, the writer, dated September 1994. No, we do not have a certificate of authenticity or anything of that nature. I did not mark the grade down based on that signature, but I also did not raise the price based on that signature. High-grade copies of Catwoman number 1 usually run somewhere in that like $8 to $12 range. And so here, our copy is Catwoman number 1, high grade, $8. But I do want to point out Joe Duffy, signed and dated. So if that is a selling point or if that is a deal breaker, let's just acknowledge it right off the bat. And then we have Batman 442. The first appearance, not of Tim Drake, he already appeared, but it is the issue where Tim Drake officially becomes the 3rd Robin. Now, this is a very fine plus copy at $12. Also, I want to point out, I don't want to belabor it and get too heavy, but that is absolutely a George Perez cover. This storyline called A Lonely Place of Dying. It was a crossover between Batman and the new Teen Titans that was going on at the time, because it was a lot about Batman and Dick Grayson's relationship in the early years, obviously leading and dealing with the grief and death of Jason Todd, but would inevitably culminate in Tim Drake becoming the new Robin. And every one of those issues, the covers were illustrated by George Perez. And that issue is no different. So Batman 442, very fine plus, $12. First appearance of Tim Drake as Robin. Yes.
Have you run into any kind of like gouging on the internet?
Yes. In terms of Perez stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the vultures are out.
It's pretty heinous.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't want to, I don't want to make anyone.
It's weird because, I was pricing up some of his Wonder Womans, and I was like, oh. And then I was like, I'm not going to, I'm not playing that game.
Yeah, nah.
I can't, it's not right.
But, I mean, if people are more, people want to buy more Perez stuff for whatever reason, I mean, awesome. Please.
You absolutely should.
Yeah.
He's a type.
Yeah, he is a stone cold Hall of Famer of the industry. I mean, let's just be honest. But just beware, because again, there's always people out there that want to profit from tragedy. So same thing where if you're donating to certain charities, especially when certain terrible things are going on in the world. We're not going to get into it, but just do your due diligence before you send off money and make sure that who you're giving the money to is legit, reputable, and the money's going to go to areas that desperately need it.
Just Google search Nigerian royalty and you'll see who the prince is that needs your money.
Yes. It's a great photo. It's awesome. Okay, the other 3 books that are up there. Again, we did this on the local show, so this is the thing that sucks sometimes about sort of having to start over. I don't want to go into the same spiels that I did before, but the Batman just came out this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow. Anyone who has seen it already, I really do hope you enjoyed it instead of not. Because again, what's the point of all this crap if we're not having a good time and enjoying ourselves? But and Gary will attest to this. Anybody who knows me, it sounds like the Batman is definitely my kind of Batman. And I like to kind of joke around that it's like Batman Year 2, even though it's obviously very influenced by Long Halloween, Batman Year 1, stories of that nature. But we were very fortunate. Mike dropped off a few books this past couple days. And in that were part 1, 2, and 3 of the 4-part Batman Year 2 storyline. So Batman Year 1 by Frank Miller and Dave Mazzucchelli was a 4-issue story arc that was in Batman. Batman Year 2 by Mike Barr, Alan Davis, and after this issue, Alan Davis only does the 1 issue, Todd McFarlane, when he was still working for DC, before he moved over to Marvel and started doing this Amazing Spider-Man and stuff like that. He was working on Detective Comics in Year 2. So this is Detective Comics 575. This is a very fine plus copy at $23. Again, if you are confused why Batman is holding a gun, it's because in the early days of Batman's existence, he used a gun. So this is sort of a nod by Mike Barr, the writer, to that era of the Batman past. Next up, now this is where the Todd McFarlane stuff kicks in. Let's just grab both of them. Also, just in case it matters, that Year 2, Part 1 is also the first appearance of the second Reaper. It's a dude who's got a big Sith or Skiff. Oh my God, I'm having a sigh. Yeah, jeez. All right. It's pretty much that thing that you see right there. And now we also have the Todd McFarlane art. We're officially not only doing the covers, but he's also doing all the interiors. Now this is issue Detective Comics 576, Part 2 of Year 2. This is also a very fine plus copy at $18. And then probably the most iconic of the Batman Year 2 covers. There is Bruce humping his parents' tombstone or gravestone. This is issue 577 of Detective Comics, the penultimate chapter of Batman Year 2. This is a very fine plus copy as well at $18. So there you go. All right. And then what else did we have? Oh, yeah. In terms of some other stuff that we had on the local show, we'll point out real quick. Here is Web of Spider-Man 118. This is a high-grade copy at $80. It is the first appearance of Ben Reilly as the Scarlet Spider. We also have here Marvel Point 1 from 2011. This is a high-grade copy at $30. It is the first appearance of Sam Alexander as Nova. But the reason why this book is trending right now, or people are starting to a reigniting of interest in this issue, isn't just the first appearance. It's actually, for anyone who didn't see it, Doctor Strange 2, they released a Japanese trailer, and in that trailer is an image of an alternate reality Doctor Strange wearing this costume. And that costume is sometimes clunkily referred to as the Defenders Strange costume, because this is an alternate reality Stephen Strange wearing that costume, who would go on to create a new Defenders team. That was the Defenders volume written by Matt Fraction, illustrated by Terry Dodson. So he appears, and he looks like Benedict Cumberbatch as that version of that Doctor Strange in the trailer looks exactly like the version of Doctor Strange that appears for the first time in this issue and went on to be part of the main character of the Matt Fraction Defenders. So that is why this book is back on people's radar. And then we also had Showcase number 94 from 1977. This is a Fine Plus copy at $30. First team appearance of the second Doom Patrol. And then that was a 3-part storyline, and here are the other 2 parts. This is Showcase number 95, Fine Plus copy, $5. And Showcase 96, only a very good copy, which is why it's only $3. All right. We also had on the local show, Red Room Trigger Warning, the second Red Room series by Ed Piskor is coming out this Wednesday. And we have all 4 issues of the original Red Room series. Again, not for the faint of heart, and please do not let children read this book. This book will offend a lot of adults, too. So here we go. Red Room, The Antisocial Network, number 1 by Ed Piskor of Hip Hop Family Tree fame. This is a high-grade copy at $8.
We got a customer that does horror hound, scary monsters, loves horror books. And I was like, yo, this will be right up your alley. That's too much for me.
Yeah. It's grimy.
It was too grimy.
You called it. You called it. It's grimy.
It was a little much.
It's for people who really think Crust is the greatest book that has ever existed. This is issue 2 with the first appearance of Poker Face. I don't know if that matters. This is a high-grade copy at $5. And then we have issue 3, high grade, $5. And the final issue of the very first Red Room miniseries with a nice little EC Comics homage. Red Room number 4, high grade, $5. All
right. Mr. Van Gilder, I'm assuming you're playing the Red Room. If that's the case and you're not a local customer, just give us an email with your contact info. That's it. Email scrolling on the bottom. You're good.
Yeah, hit us up, fjccshow@gmail.com. And thank you very much for hanging out with us.
If you don't want it, just let me know. I'll put it back.
Yeah, no problem. All good in the hood. All right, real quick. The only milestone book we have left from the local show is Blood Syndicate number 7. Just want to make people aware. It's a high grade at $3. And then we had Guardians of the Galaxy by Jim Valentino from 1990, issue number 1. Also the first appearance of Taserface, the next great villain of Marvel MCU Phase 6.
That's like a Red Room character.
I know, right? Taserface. Guardians of the Galaxy number 1. This is a very fine copy at $20. And then we had a Coyote meets Badger. Coyote number 14. It's a fun series. Al and I both have a very fond remembrance of Badger. Probably one of the better black and white characters to come out of the 80s. But this is Coyote number 14. It's a high grade copy at $6. But what gives this book a teeny bit of value is so Coyote number 11 is considered the first comic artwork by Todd McFarlane. And the backup story in this issue is also drawn by Todd McFarlane. So this is considered one of the earlier issues for Todd McFarlane artwork. This is before he moved on to go work with, it's right before, or I think he's just starting to work on like Infinity Inc. As this issue started to come out. So there you go. And then we like to joke about it, but Al and I both never really seen this issue, especially since we've worked here, which has been a very long time. But this is the infamous issue from 1994 of the Peter David run on Aquaman. This is issue 2, and if you can't figure it out from the cover, this is the moment where Aquaman loses his left hand. Yeah, he goes all Luke Skywalker on us, folks, which would lead to the fun trident, spike, whatever. But that is a high-grade copy at $6. And last but not least, Saga of the Swamp Thing, number 1. This was the second Swamp Thing series. This is also the series when you get to issue 20, where Alan Moore takes over the book and then begins his extremely famous and incredible run on Swamp Thing. This is not him yet, but this is the first issue from that volume that would go on to pretty much birth Vertigo Comics, probably one of the greatest comic lines this industry has ever had. This is a very fine copy at $12. All right, so those I think are all of the books we had on the local that just that didn't sell. So they made it over onto the experience. If anyone has any questions, let us know. If not, let us move on to some of the books we have up there in the front. First up is Amazing Spider-Man 365, considered the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. This is part of the big 30th anniversary event where the 4 titles of Spider-Man, each of the issues got their little hologram. But this book has some value nowadays, primarily because it is considered the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. Now, this copy is a very fine minus, which is why it's only $10. High-grade copies of this book sell for around like $25, $30. It is not, the next issue is not the great, whatever the hell Jason was talking about in regards to the black and white hologram, or what was it?
There's a black hologram. I don't know if it's deterioration or it's just the way it's printed, but the hologram's like black. Like instead of a green hue, there's a black hue.
There's a black tint to it.
There's a black tint to it. Thank you, Mr. Van Gelder, and I actually had your contact information. I'm sorry. I was just wasting everybody's time again. But thank you, and I'll English you.
Excellent. Well, that, like, if you do find that black hologram, it's like $100 book. Was that what it was like?
It was, 120, something like that. I mean, yeah, it's,
Well, we don't have it. We have the normal hologram. But the issue that we are talking about is X-Men 25. This is a high-grade copy at $20. This is part of the Fatal Attractions storyline. But 2 big events occur in this issue, which gives it a lot of its value. First, Magneto rips out all of the adamantium from Wolverine. I mean, it's a brutal panel. And in reaction to that act, Professor X mind wipes Magneto, which would later lead to the creation of the villain Onslaught. So 2 big events that really defined a certain era of 90s X-Men occur in this issue here, X-Men 25, high-grade copy, $20. And a few issues later, a momentous event finally occurred. X-Men issue 30, The Wedding of Scott Summers and Jean Grey. This is a very fine plus copy at $6. And I can't tell you the amount of copies of this issue sold primarily for people who wanted to give someone a wedding gift. So that would be a good wedding gift. Also with the Amazing Spider-Man annual where Peter and MJ get married. Do you remember which annual number that is? 11? I think it's 11. I think, yeah. It's a very iconic cover. You would obviously recognize it immediately.
The Superman had a wedding album.
Yes,
sir. Like the all-white cover.
Yeah. Or like at one point, isn't it like he's like flying Lois and she's like throwing the bouquet? It's gonna hit somebody really hard because it's falling out of the sky.
That's not Superman's problem.
Yeah, he's already flown very far away. Next up is an issue of X-Force. X-Force number 2, considered the second appearance of Deadpool. This is a very fine plus copy at $18. The Blood Hunters.
You want to take a break real quick?
Sure, let's take a break.
We'll do a break now, Jerry, if that's cool.
Yeah, sure, let's do a break, bud.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
I'm Thomas Munn with Blue Juice Comics, and you're watching The Experience.
Welcome back. We're here. We're hanging out. Fat Jacks. Brendan and Al. So we're moving on to try to sell some more comics. Unless Al, do you have anything you want to talk about?
Nah.
Derail the show?
Not at all.
No? All
I
right.
don't want to do that. We're staying on focus.
Focus, which is something that we have a lot of difficulty with.
Not this week,
I
though. No
do.
dead weight here this week. We're just trudging along.
I imagine a lot of you are aware in a few weeks, the Morbius movie is coming out. You do not need go back and watch old episodes. You'll know my feelings about Jared Leto, and that's not what this is about. But instead, in honor of Morbius, which I think is coming out on April Fool's Day, maybe it's a joke. Maybe it's never going to come out. Maybe all they did was just film enough scenes for a trailer. And then that's it. And they're just going to keep being like, "Oh, we're pushing it back some more."
Does the trailer look good? Even not as a Jared Leto fan?
I don't know.
Come on. You know if it looks good or not. You know if Ryan Seacrest was in it, you'd be excited.
Oh, that is true. I would be really excited.
I don't know. Who's somebody you like? Who's an actor?
Ryan Gosling.
If Ryan Gosling was in it,
I'd be
you'd
into
be
it.
excited.
Yeah. Actually, who would be a good? Anyone have a good casting? Like your favorite? Like if you could have cast Morbius, could be anybody, living or dead. Like who? I'm trying to think of who would I cast? I mean, what's I hate to say it, but mid-90s Johnny Depp. Really, Edward Scissorhands era Johnny Depp. It would have been good.
So Skeet Ulrich.
That's Skeet Ulrich. No, what are you talking about? Matt Lillard. Yeah, he'd be the greatest Morbius of all time. Oh, no. I know who's a good Morbius. Definitely, what's his name? Louis Anderson. That's right. R.I.P.
Brandon Lee.
Oh, that's a good one. Because the Crow, we already kind of had, so it kind of you can definitely see it.
Maybe John Bon Jovi.
Ooh, what would have been my favorite? Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender is a dark. That would have been cool. But instead, we got Jared Leto.
What's his band?
30 Seconds to Mars. With the worst Bjork cover I've ever heard in my life. Get a job, loser. No. No, but all joking aside, in honor of Morbius, or just to be able to just remind people it's coming out, finally, we have a recent key. It's Legion of Monsters by Dennis Hopeless and Juan Doe. This is the second Legion of Monsters lineup, consisting of Elsa Bloodstone, who's becoming a very big deal lately, Morbius, Werewolf by Night, the Mummy, and some kind of creature from the Black Lagoon that I was not aware existed in the Marvel Universe. And this book actually can net you somewhere around $15, $20. It's just one of those books, and it was a low print run. And I don't know, people just started to come around to it. And so over time, it's gone up in value. The copy that we have here is a high-grade copy at $10. All right. And
I like Wanda.
Oh, I really love
I
Wanda.
like it. I mean, it's an acquired. It's not for everybody.
Well, because he started out as he's a New York graffiti artist, and I think his big break was that X-Men miniseries, the 198.
Yeah.
And he did all of those propaganda covers. Yeah. They look like Russian propaganda covers. Like Soviet era. And then he slowly started to do interior work. Yeah. And I do really enjoy his style.
It's unique. It's not. I mean, it's just clean. It's a very clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's understated.
And it's very it's vibrant. It's kinetic. It's just fun. It's cool.
I think he did a thing with Azarello.
Oh,
It's like a crime book. I don't really care.
not
for
Loveless.
Not Loveless. Not Fate.
Monster.
American Monster.
American Monster. That's it. Yeah.
Like the series, his art, it's unique. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's very
We'll
unique.
say that.
Yeah. Anyone else out there enjoy Wando? And just so we're clear, it's an alias. It was his graffiti tag.
Shout out to Wando if he's watching.
Yeah. Wando, good shit. Okay, so just like Morbius, there is a new Marvel series about to premiere at the end of the month. I imagine you could guess what it is. It's Moon Knight. And so, people are, the big Moon Knight books, the big Moon Knight keys, everyone knows what they are. Most people already have them. Other people are hunting them down. Other people are being priced out. Whatever the case may be. But especially with the character who I'm convinced is just going to explode, I think this series is going to be a huge hit. I don't normally, even care about any of that crap, but I'm looking forward to it. If anyone follows us on the Instagram, our Instagram page, you obviously saw the poster that Disney and Marvel released of Moon Knight in his Mr. Knight costume. It's a really cool image. At one point, we did think it was fan art, but it got confirmed it was legit. So I just found a couple, 2 books that people are interested in, primarily because, as Kevin Feige has said, the version of the Avengers that has existed up until Endgame, that lineup, that's done. So the Avengers aren't done, but now we're going to get like next generation, new members, all that kind of stuff. And everybody is convinced that at some point Moon Knight is going to be a part of the Avengers. So there are 2 issues, one from the 80s and one from about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more, where Moon Knight sort of joins the Avengers. And so because of that, people have been curious and kind of picking up those issues. And those 2 issues are, the first one, the very first time that Moon Knight joins an Avengers team officially is West Coast Avengers from 1987, issue number 21. So Moon Knight officially joins the team. And he was on the team for a good long period of time. I think he was on it until the early 90s when John Byrne came along and was like, I don't like Moon Knight, and tossed him off the book because John Byrne hates drawing capes, I think, or something. I don't know. But this is a very fine plus copy at $4. And then the other Avengers team that Moon Knight would later join, which would also lead to issue 19 of the series, which is where the Mr. Knight costumes first introduced. If anyone's looking for any copies of Secret Avengers 19, we still have a copy or 2 here in the shop. I was going to show it off there in the background. There you go. High grade, $20. But he joined, Ed Brubaker started the Secret Avengers series with Steve Rogers, who was in Captain America at that time. And he got his team of Valkyrie, War Machine, Black Widow, Nova, Beast, and Moon Knight. And I got to say, this book was a ton of fun. This was a great series, a great lineup of interesting characters, just quality. So this is another issue that people have been curious about because, again, this is Moon Knight officially joining a Avengers team, and he stayed on this team up until I think through the Brubaker stuff, then through all the Warren Ellis stuff, through the Nick Spencer stuff, up until when Rick Remender took over the book, and then he left. But he had a good run with this particular team and lineup. So this is Secret Avengers #1 by Ed Brubaker and Mike Diodato. This is a high-grade copy at $6. And if you're curious, we do have a variant of issue #1. Moon Knight is not on the cover, though. It's only Captain America, or Steve Rogers, Black Widow, War Machine, and Nova. But this is the Heroic Age variant that were going around at the time. This is also a high-grade copy, but this one is $10. All right, so that's some of our Moon Knight. Next up, we're gonna have a little like if anyone's looking for some low-key keys, if you're curious, this is more of like the Mr. Oz corner of random first appearances of characters that may or may not be anything. So here we have Fantastic Four 391. All right. This is a very fine plus copy at $4, but this is the first appearance of two characters. First up is Vibraxis, which is a young Wakandan who is infused throughout his body with vibranium. And also, it is the first appearance of a character, an Inhuman character by the name of Delvlor. Now, you say, Brendan, why are you pointing out this issue? Because these two characters would then lead into Fantastic Force #1, the first team appearance of this group. And there's Vibraxis, there's Devlor, and then you got Huntara. It's
what's her name?
Huntara. Huntara. Led by Psylord. And Psylord is, yes, a teenage-aged Franklin Richards. And so the go-getters who never say die. And this is also the 90s, so you better believe that's holofoil cover. But again, this is a very fine copy at $4. So there you go. And again, man, you never know. Some of these Wakandan characters, like Vibraxis, right there. Who knows? Maybe they become a bigger deal later on. So there we go. Two little fun, keys from 20 years later. Yeah.
West Coast 21.
Yep, West Coast 21, right here. Yeah. Moon Knight joins the West Coast Avengers.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kieran.
All right, Mr. Kieran. Good stuff.
Mr. McHale and Mr. Kieran both. We got another copy of Secret Avengers #1. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Mr. McHale and Mr. Kieran each get one. Don't worry.
We just grab that right now so we don't forget.
Mr. Kieran, how's your tummy? Your tummy okay? Cool. Thank you, Mr. McHale. Thank you, Mr. Kieran.
Yeah.
What's
Thank you.
up, Duke?
Duke, what's happening, buddy? Good to see you last night. Okay. If anyone's interested in comments or anything like that, hit us up. If not, I'm just gonna kind of trudge along. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm also very tired.
Your tummy hurts too.
Nah, my tummy doesn't hurt. But I'll tell you one thing, I had a headache I couldn't get rid of for most of the day. Jason's a very bad influence on me in regards to my brown liquor intake. Chivas Regal and some Bullet Bourbon.
Ooh.
Yeah, what was it? A 10-year aged barrel? It was like a special thing.
Fancy shit.
Yeah, something fancy. And I was probably also on other stuff that wasn't just alcohol. So I got to bed at like 4:00 this morning, and I woke up maybe about 3 or 4 hours later because everyone else in my house was awake and living their life.
So usually they keep normal time?
They have normal lives. They go to bed at normal hours. They don't over imbibe in certain things. They're grown adults, unlike the 13-year-old man children that usually end up on this show.
I slept great last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Good for you. Any good dreams?
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that. We're gonna sell some comics.
All right. Okay. So, we definitely had Last Avengers story on at one point, but so in the mid '90s, through the success of Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross, Marvel started to do these like more of these throwback prestige format acetate cover one-shots, specifically painted, because everyone was trying to ape the Alex Ross look in Marvels. So Marvel, started to put out these equivalent one-shots. Excuse me. First up, Strange Tales, featuring The Thing, Human Torch, and Doctor Strange. This is a complete self-contained story. Yeah, even Marvel created this thing called Marvel Select, and it's not a toy. It was before they started. It was just these like prestige format painted one-shots. This is a high-grade copy at $8. And then you got its sister book, Tales of Suspense, starring Captain America and Iron Man. Again, a fully painted, oversized one-shot with an acetate cover, like the first prints of Marvels. And then we got Tales of the Marvels. There was one called Blockbuster, and then there was a 2-issue called Wonder Years, starring none other than Simon Williams, Wonder Man. You also get, what's his bucket? Oh my God, what is that character called? The big kaiju robot that Marvel licensed at one point. Nah, that's before it's time. It doesn't matter. But this is issue number 1, a high grade copy at $6. And then issue number 2, also high grade, $6. And then I do not have the second issue, but I do have another copy of The Last Avengers story, number 1. This is a high grade copy at $6. This is the infamous story that was originally written and illustrated. No, I don't think it was fully. No, it was just written in 1986. But Marvel editors at the time felt that it wasn't too dark. It was just too slow. Now, if you ever read this book, what the hell were they talking about? But whatever. It didn't actually get published or be seen in the light of day until 1996, or about 10 years later, when we finally got The Last Avengers story. And if you want to get technical about it, this is the first appearance of the Last Avengers. And now these are the 2 big ones, okay? Because as Marvel's was blowing up, and it was focusing on Phil, what was the character's name? But he's the photographer for the Daily Bugle, and so Marvel's is seeing the rise of the Marvels, obviously Silver Age Marvel, through this character's eyes. And a lot of Marvels is very optimistic. It's hopeful, all that kind of stuff. Well, Marvel decided to hire a writer who at that time was still building their career. They weren't quite the name yet, and that writer was Warren Ellis. And they decided to create a sort of a sister series that kind of ran parallel to Marvel's, except much more pessimistic, much darker. And that book was the 2-issue of Ruins. So now these have some real value to them because you just don't really see first prints of these anymore. In fact, they put out a 1-issue reprint that combined these 2, soft cover, all that kind of stuff. And I think that book now has a little bit of value. Hard to find, all that kind of stuff. They're rarely ever put back into print. But this is, again, fully painted. Ruins, number 1. This is a high-grade copy at $8. And then this is the one with some real value. Ruins, number 2. Now, this book, high-grade, and this is a high-grade, but we only have it at $12. But sometimes I saw this book going for almost around $20. I think that this series had a low print run. And by issue number 2, I think some people were a little turned off by the pessimism and darkness of the first issue. And so this second issue kind of went under the radar for a brief period of time. But that cover there later became a bit iconic. So there you go. Ruins, issue 1 and 2. Issue 1, $8. Issue 2, $12. Both of them, like I said, are high grade, gorgeous. Also, around that time, we had the first issue. I'm trying to think if we had both issues, but we definitely had the first issue at one point. What are we looking for, Ruins? Yeah, those 2 right there.
Thank you, Mr. Arm.
All right, dude, cool man. You'll enjoy. If you've never read that, dude, you'll love it. It's dark. I'm going to be very honest. It's very dark. All right, so back in the early 90s, or 89, 90, I think it's 90. Steve Gerber, a favorite of ours here at the shop, with a still young, still building up his career, Wilsh Portacio. They did a 2-issue prestige format series called The Legion of Night. And we are lucky enough here to have both issues. And if you were growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, and you were reading Marvel Comics at the time, I know for a fact you recognize this cover because there's a lot of previews and it was very evocative. Let's be honest, especially if you were a prepubescent young boy. And again, Wilsh Portacio, his art at this time was wild, highly detailed, very kinetic, just a lot of fun. And this is no different. And again, Steve Gerber is just Steve Gerber in it, man. It's dark, it's weird. He's just having a damn good time, that's for sure. Also, if you want to be clear about it, this issue was also the first team appearance of the Legion of Night. So maybe something will happen with them one day. Who knows? But this is a high-grade copy for $6 for issue number 1. And then a high-grade copy of issue number 2 for $6. There you go. So Legion of Night by Steve Gerber and Wilsh Portacio. And then we had this in the show last week, but we got another copy, so I just wanted to kind of show it off just for the sake of, just fun. This is Legends of the Dark Claw number 1, the first appearance of the amalgamation of Batman and Wolverine. And if you didn't hear it, his name is definitely Logan Wayne. This is a high-grade copy, $8. Detectives, did Batman, did all that stuff up front. We haven't done the Thors yet. What do we have over here? We haven't done the Avengers. Real quick, let's point this one out here. Night of the Living Deadpool one-shot. A little parody of the Romero zombie films, but with Deadpool. No shock there. This is a high-grade copy for $8. And then, all right, let me just... So I'll get the Avengers. We can get to those Thors. I guess I should do the Avengers. All right. Here, let me read my notes so I know what I'm talking about here. All right.
You got new glasses?
Oh, yeah, I have new glasses, yeah.
Wayne Logan, where'd that go? Up here.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Thank you, Mr. Hollershits.
All right, Sam. Thank you, bud.
Jerry, do you like the glasses or do you not like the glasses? What's everybody think about the glasses? Bring the glasses up now.
What?
He's wearing the glasses. You guys have all been talking about it.
Really? I thought it wasn't even mentioned.
No.
Because
It's mentioned a few times.
It's not like
It's always mentioned. It's always talked.
Of course.
I've been emailed about it. And I got a couple of texts about it.
Nice.
It's ridiculous.
Nice. All right. Good times. Good times.
Mr. Vander Cook. Night of the Living Dead claim.
Oh, excellent. Right here. Night of the Living Deadpool.
Yo, Kyle, what's up? It's Kyle.
Kyle, what's happening, buddy?
Hey, Kyle, we got some bots in there. You want to take care of that?
Oh, really? Bots?
Yeah.
Oh. Are they trying to solicit sex from us?
If you want to become famous.
Oh, nice.
Click on there.
I love when I get the random text that is like, hey, what is it? I don't do drugs. I don't have a boyfriend. Do you want to hang out tonight? You're like, delete.
Can you delete them?
Hell yeah! Get those things off my phone as quick as possible.
Those guys are so nice to me.
So gentle. All right, so right now we're going to run through a couple Avengers books. Nothing too insane. They're all very affordable. But I will remark upon what makes them, interesting. Then you can make up your mind if it's interesting to you or not. Here we are. This is Avengers issue 219, the first appearance of the Bob Bonnie alien race, which sounds like a weird, tea or something. Also, you get a Drax and Moondragon appearance, where you start to get into the connection and relationship between Drax and Moondragon. That is a very fine minus copy at $5. Then we have Avengers 228, The Trial of Yellow Jacket. it's also the third appearance of Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel. That is a fine copy at $3. And then we have issue 243. This is the issue where pretty much Vision kind of taps into all the world's computers and threatens to start a nuclear war, which feels way too topical lately, but that's a whole, again, I promised myself, I'm gonna maintain it. I'm gonna maintain it. But
interesting take.
Yeah. But this is the issue where they mention for the very first time the concept of the West Coast Avengers. This is the issue where that idea is first introduced and will quickly lead into Avengers and then West Coast Avengers spinning off from this series. This is a fine plus copy at $3. And then we have issue 246. There we go. Issue 246 is mostly known as being the first appearance of Maria Rambeau, the mother of Monica Rambeau, and the character that has created the weirdest speculation rumor I've heard recently. I'll get to it in 1 second. First, this is a fine minus copy at $3. This book absolutely jumped up to like 10, 15 bucks over the past few weeks. And I'll tell you why. So I imagine most of you saw the Doctor Strange 2 trailer. And you see what looks like, or is pretty sure, is the Illuminati. And there is a character in the background of this scene. It's obviously a woman and this and that. And everyone, or like, people became convinced that it was Monica Rambeau's mother, like an alternate reality version of Maria Rambeau as like a binary character or something. I don't even know who they thought she was, but for whatever reason, somebody in some stupid YouTube channel show said, I think it's Monica's mother. And before you know it, Avengers 246 suddenly went from being a $3 to $4 book and became like a $10, $15 book overnight. Obviously, I'm keeping it around $3 as a mid-grade because I don't know what they're talking about. But who knows? Maybe $3 investment in a few months is going to turn out to be a big deal. But again, we're going to be transparent here. I'm making you aware. I didn't even know it was a thing until I was like, what the hell? What is this Avengers book trending for? And it's first appearance of Monica Rambeau's mother, Maria. Next up, yes.
Well, we got to do a break.
Oh, break? No, let's do a break. Cool.
Kyle, whatever you want.
We're all ready, man. Do it,
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today. They say, and it's true, that everything is getting faster. You're not getting any younger, and time is the single resource that you can never get back or get any more of. So why walk into your local comic shop blind when you can go in laser focused on the best books on the shelf?
Hi everybody, and welcome to Minute to Skim It. Yeah!
Spend 1 hour with Miss Jen and Bean, and they'll give you rapid-fire reviews of all the new comics hitting stores. Spend less time shopping and more time reading.
This is Provenance of Secrets.
This is The Heathens. I read Wolverine number 17.
Minute to Skim It, every Tuesday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Source Point, and you're watching The Experience.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. All right, so let's just keep chugging along. Here we go. So next up, we have, let me get my notes here, just so I know what the hell I'm talking about.
You guys see how efficient we are tonight?
Yeah.
There's no quicksand in the building.
No, there isn't. But I always appreciate the quicksand because I'm entertained.
I mean, no, yeah.
All right, next up, we have Avengers 258, a fine copy at $2.50, the second appearance of Nebula. And then, next up, Avengers 262, with Namor, like, just completely mugging Hercules. Just like, what is going on there? Oh, Namor is the best. Anyway, Avengers 262, that's a fine copy at $2.50. This is the issue where Namor officially joins the Avengers. It is also revealed that Namor is what caused Cap's ice block to drift into warmer waters, which would lead to Captain America being discovered by the Avengers. So not only does Namor join the Avengers, but you learn a new detail of Namor's role in the Captain America Silver Age origin. All right. And then next up, Avengers 264, the first appearance of the second Yellow Jacket. That's her right there, Rita Damara. So that is the first appearance of the second Yellow Jacket. This is a fine copy at $2. And then Avengers 281. This is a very good plus copy at only $1.50. But it is the first appearance of Artemis and Hephaestus, Olympians, whatever. And then let us finish out our little Avengers grouping up here. Grab some of these real fast.
Mr. Vandercook, I got your email. Thank you for getting in touch. We'll be in touch this week. Just keep an eye out for that invoice.
Appreciate it, man. All right, next up, Avengers 288. This is the first team appearance of Heavy Metal. Al, can you guess who's in Heavy Metal?
Tommy Lee, Nikki Sixx.
Good, man. You're onto something. Yeah. Heavy Metal is made up of the Super Adaptoid, the Awesome Android, Machine Man, Sentry, not the psychotic Superman Sentry.
Not the cool Sentry.
No, the Kree Sentry. And a character by the name of Tess 1.
Wait, do they like form?
Oh, wouldn't that be the best?
It's not. No, Heavy Metal's not the one piece, right?
No. That's the Kree Sentry. Machine Man's on his shoulder. Who's the other guy on his? I think that's like a Fixer or something like that. But anyway, first team appearance of Heavy Metal. They'll probably get their own Disney Plus series before you know it. Fine copy at $2. And then look, the first cover appearance of almost the entire team of Heavy Metal. This is Avengers 289, which is primarily known for as being the first appearance of Cubic. Cubic, not to be confused with Cubert, the cute little video game character. Instead, this is the human form of the Cosmic Cube. Cosmic Cube became a child or a creature. Yeah. Fine plus copy, $2.50. And now we have Avengers 300 presenting the new team. You got Gilgamesh, you got the Captain, you got Thor, and then you got Reed Richards and Sue Storm running around together. This is a very fine copy at $4. And then we have Boom! Avengers 301. Very fine, $3. They fight the Brain Leeches. This is also known as the first appearance of Supernova, which was a giant human being who was also a Nova, part of the Nova Corps, except he went crazy because he absorbed too much of the Nova Force or something, and so he goes crazy and the Avengers have to stop him. But it's his first appearance, and his name is Supernova. And then we have Boom! Avengers 314. Now, these next two issues are a little bit more predicated on the Eternals movie. So, first up, Avengers 314 is when Cersei joins the Avengers. That is a fine plus copy at $2.50. And then, now this book actually did jump up in value. I mean, sometimes I've seen it for like 10 to 15 bucks. This is Avengers 350. Our copy here is a fine plus of $5. No, it is not important because the Avengers fight the Starjammers. It's important because this is the issue where the Black Knight and Cersei begin their romantic relationship. And if you've seen the Eternals movie, Black Knight and Cersei have a romantic relationship. And so because of that, people glommed on to the first time that occurred in comic books. And that's this issue right here. Avengers 350, fine plus, $5. All right.
Okay, 300 and 301.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Thank you, Mr. McHale.
All right, Mr. McHale. Thank you. All right, so those are our Avengers. All right. So I think... Oh, we haven't done... All right, so let's just do these stores real quick, and then we'll... I don't know, maybe we'll do some bundles. Maybe we can dip into some more, like, kind of like series, like affordable. But real quick, a customer... Is anyone familiar, and I'm going to butcher these names. Gary, are you still out there? The Wagner Opera, it's based off of the Ring of Nibelung. Like, it's, oh my God, it's this epic fantasy poem, like with Siegfried and the Sword of Siegfried, and there's like 4 parts. The Rheingold, I think, is a part of it. It's a big German epic. It's all connected with these like fantasy characters and all this kind of stuff. And it's this very famous Wagner opera and everything. Well, back in the early '80s, Roy Thomas, who was probably, I guess, a fan of it, actually, P. Craig Russell in the late '80s did an entire comic book illustrated adaptation of The Ring of Nibelung. Nibelung?
Yeah, no. I do, now that you say that, I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with, I don't know anything about the album.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, you probably have heard the names before. Like me, I'm like, I know this, and yet I can't put my finger on it to even describe to you what the hell happens. But I do know it's a Wagner opera. I do know that. A customer, we were debating, we were trying to figure out, because he was like, no, I'm convinced there was a Thor story arc that sort of like adapted the first part of that opera, but as a superhero, Thor story. And then I found it. It is. It's Thor 295 to 299. So let's show off these Thor issues by Roy Thomas and Keith Pollard. And it even says, beginning the quest for the Ring of Power. So here we are, Thor 295, part 1 of the Thor adaptation of the Wagner opera, or at least part 1 of the Wagner opera. This is from 1980, 295. This is a very fine plus copy at $8. Issue 296. This is a fine plus copy as well, $8. Oh, now we get into the whole Sword of Siegfried. That was like a big, I think his sword has a name and everything like that. Maybe it talked to him. Maybe it did like, I don't know, it tickled him or something. I'm not sure. But Thor gets it in issue 297. Very fine plus copy, $8. And then he fights the dragon because Siegfried, he killed what was the name of the? See, this is the problem. Like there was a famous dragon, and Siegfried kills him. It's a big part of this whole epic saga and stuff. Well, here's Thor fighting that dragon, Fanir or something. Issue 298, very fine plus copy at $8. And the final part of this story, because only comics can take an 8-hour opera and turn it into 5 issues of 22 pages each. $2.99. This is a fine plus copy at $5. All right. So those are our 4s. There we go. Fun, fun, fun. Oh, a couple more of the Avengers ones?
Yes. Right now you listen to Ken.
All right. So now we have time for the next. Okay, we've got 15 minutes. Okay, so for the next, I apologize. I just need to kind of make a little room. Let's throw out some bundles. Put together some new bundles, some fresh bundles. So I want to give people an opportunity to see what we got. Again, if you see anything up here that you're curious about, no matter what I'm talking about, we will always prioritize what you want to see, hear, whatever. Oh, yes. So I was earlier talking about Todd McFarlane's DC work before he moved on to Marvel. And this was part of it. So I think the first issue, or no. I think McFarlane did the first 2 issues, and then Bart Sears did the 3rd issue. And I'm specifically talking about the 3-issue miniseries of the DC event Invasion. So this is all 3 parts of this storyline. It's only $7. Get some Keith Giffen art, story, all that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people, in case you're not aware, where is it? This recent issue of Daredevil Woman Without Fear, this one right here, it is the first time that the new Punisher, I know a lot of people are going to be upset by this, but let's just, so there is the new, so Punisher is going to run the hand, and so he gets a new symbol to represent that. It is not permanent, despite the fact what some babies on social media want to act like. But the first time that appears is in this new issue of Daredevil Woman Without Fear. So with Punisher on my mind, here we have a couple bundles from Matt Fraction's Punisher War Journal run. So this is Punisher War Journal from 2008. This is issue 13 through 15, plus the annual by Simon Spurrier and Weather Del Edra, who is the artist for Something is Killing the Children. But this 3 issues is the Punisher pretty much fighting Spider-Man villains like Rhino, Kraven, things of that nature. So $6. And then we get the big epic Punisher story where Jigsaw and his family rear their ugly heads. So this is issue 16 through 23. And that is a $10 bundle. And then the last 3 issues of the Matt Fraction Punisher War Journal run, issue 24 through 26, including the Secret Invasion crossover. So each of these 3 issues is a self-contained story, and it is a $5 bundle. All right, next up, let's see. Now, let me find the bundle I really want to show off. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. All right, so first up, if you're curious, we have an Avengers bundle, the Collection Obsession. This deals with the Collector and some early Andy Kubert art, all that kind of stuff. So this is issue 334 through 339, and that is a $7 bundle. And then we get, okay, so back in the mid-'80s, the artist Dean Motter, 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 great artist, pretty cool writer. He created a character called Mr. X. And pretty much what Mr. X is like you take noir, mix it with like early cyberpunk, like it wasn't even really cyberpunk quite yet. A lot of gothic architecture, like very Philip K. Dick, kind of like not that far in the future, sci-fi paranoia with like a city with like lots of like weird, almost Kafka-esque. It was definitely ahead of its time. A little over a lot of comic fans' heads in the mid '80s, but definitely like a perfect encapsulation of a certain kind of '80s comic book. And so this here is Mr. X. This is the full first series, all 14 issues of this really awesome story. And some Mr. X books have been published, by Dark Horse sometime in the 90s. They brought him back for a little bit, a mini-series, not that, like maybe a decade ago. But this is the original. And you also get a lot of really cool guest cover artists, like Dave McKeon, Bill Sienkiewicz. Was there a Jeff Darrow one? Anyway, you get a lot of art by the Hernandez brothers of Love and Rockets fame. I'm trying to think of some of the other, like a lot of like really good artists like cut some of their teeth here in the mid 80s on this title. So again, this is Mr. X, the very first series, all 14 issues. That is a complete series. Oh yeah, that is is that Bill Sienkiewicz? Yeah, I think that's Sienkiewicz. Yeah. Anyway, all 14 issues will only cost you $16. And then back in 2000 and I don't know, this is like not that long ago when Dark Horse put out a miniseries and a one-shot pretty much updating Mr. X, and that is Mr. X Eviction, issues 1 through 3. That's a complete series, and the Hard Candy one-shot. That is all for $6. And then, because I don't want to leave people out, a lot of people asked about this. A lot of people wanted to know after we made a Instagram post on Super Bowl Sunday, and to celebrate that, I showed off this series. The series that is known in many circles as the worst comic book ever published. But, I mean, I don't know, maybe they'll make a TV series about this character, or, the NFL and Disney will get in bed together again and do a NFL Super Pro series. So this is a complete series bundle, including the special edition one-shot, which is the first appearance of Super Pro, with a beautiful Joe Jusko painted cover. And then you get the entire 12-issue Super Pro series where they make fun of an indigenous people.
Is the racist issue in
there? Yeah, it's in there. Yeah, issue 6. The issue that everyone wanted to have banned because it was very, very cruel to the Hopi Indians. But you also get a Captain America guest appearance, Spider-Man guest appearance, maybe even Punisher, Wolverine, Ghost Rider. I mean, it was the 90s. Anyway, all 12 issues, including the special edition, $10. Really?
Thank you, Mr. Kieran.
All right. I knew someone. It's a unique, like Fabian Nicieza, however you pronounce his last name, he would infamously talk about how he got more hate mail because of that book. Like, people hated it so much. They wrote like these like flaming letters of disdain towards Fabian. And all Fabian would reply back is, I got a lot of free NFL tickets. So he's like, it was a job, idiots, and you're not only trying to appeal to Marvel, but you have to appeal to the NFL. And we're not even talking about the NFL as it is now, which is just like a criminal organization practically. NFL Super Pro.
Jeez, this is the 30th anniversary of Spider-Man.
What?
1992, 30th anniversary.
Wait, are we at the 30th anniversary of NFL Super Pro?
Oh, shit.
It's true.
That's crazy.
It's the 30th anniversary of NFL Super Pro.
You heard it here first.
Right on.
Thank you, Mr. Kieran.
Thanks, Mr. Kieran. Appreciate it.
He got a bat. Like
I don't.
NFL, they gave him back. That's the dumbest.
I don't know, because he was like, and his whole thing was he was like he was a reporter, but he's an ex-NFL star who like his leg got destroyed, so he couldn't play anymore. So he became a sports reporter. But for whatever reason, even though he was a sports reporter, he was sent to interview a scientist
Built the suit, right?
who, for whatever reason, was a huge football fan who built pretty much an exoskeleton Iron Man suit. But then a bunch of, like, criminals, like black ops criminals, show up to steal not the scientist's inventions, his sports memorabilia. I'm pretty sure this team was led by O.J. Simpson. And then in the act of killing the scientist and burning down the house, the reporter has to crawl into this suit to survive, and then he becomes super pro. Oh, you can't make this shit up. You just can't. Like, it's so good. Comics, man. Gotta love them. All right, next up. Okay, so I imagine most of you are familiar with Will Eisner, and you're probably familiar with his greatest creation, The Spirit. Well, DC, back in the late 2000s, they did a new Spirit series. But more importantly, none other than Darwin Cook wrote and illustrated a lot of the early issues. And then later, Sergio Aragonis and Mark Evanier of Gru fame, they took over the writing chores of the book. But either way, I have an entire set of Spirit bundles. So let's get into it real quick. This is The Spirit by Darwin Cook, issue 1 through 7. So you get the little summer special done by Kyle Baker, this one. This bundle is $10. Oh, and just so we're clear, almost all of these Spirit issues are all self-contained. Each issue is a self-contained story, which was sort of how Will Eisner did the Spirit back in the day. Next up, still by Darwin Cook, issue number 8 through 13 with the fun holiday special, the Christmas holiday special. This bundle is $8. And then this is where Sergio Aragonis and Mark Evanier, as I said, of Gru fame, with the help of the artist Mike Plug, they took over the Spirit book. Again, every issue is a self-contained story. This is issues 14 through 19. $7. And then, still the Gru guys, issue 20 through 25. $7. And then, now this is cool because I'm not familiar with the writer Uslan, but you do get some Justiniano, the Italian artist, who's like really cool. But more importantly, Brian Bolin covers. Now this is only the Spirit issue 26 through 28. Both of them written by Uslan. All three have a cover by Brian Bolin. There you go. Only $4. And then we get Dean Munter of Mr. X fame takes over some of the writing chores for a period of time. This is The Spirit issue 29 through 32. And that's $5. And that's, so in terms of this volume, that's the entire series, issue 1 through 32.
I'm fairly certain those are all out of print.
All out of print.
Trade-wise, we
Yeah.
haven't seen those.
No, they just don't. Like, DC just dropped. They're just like, does anyone want the Spirit anymore?
It's surprising, too, with the Darwin Cook.
Oh, I know, dude. If anyone's a fan of Darwin Cook and you never read these Spirit things, like, Cook and the Spirit were made for each other. They're brilliant. In fact, there was a moment where I almost like just bawled myself. Just kind of. And then, okay, so then soon after this, in 2010, DC had the rights to a bunch of pulp era characters, like the Spirit, Doc Savage, the Avenger,
Spider-Man.
I don't know if the Spider was one of them, but So DC had the idea to combine them all together as a team and also give them all their own like solo books, and they called it First Wave. So this is the First Wave imprint of The Spirit, written by Mark Schultz, with a lot of Ladron covers and more attacked.
That's good. He did the Elephant Man series.
Yes, really good artist.
It's real detailed kind of.
Yeah.
Some nice stuff.
The other cool thing that they did with these is each issue has a second feature, which is The Spirit Black and White. And so you get like artists like Bill Sienkiewicz, Adam Hughes, Howard Chaykin, Phil Winslade, Richard Corbin, Brian Azzarello, and Eduardo Rizzo. So a lot of really cool black and whites. Will Pfeiffer, Paul Levitz, Brian Boland, P. Craig Russell, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. So fun book, fun series. And this is the complete series. But this is issue 1 through 3 and the final issue 17. And the final issue 17 is just a bunch of black and white short stories. But this is $6. And then you get David Hine takes over the writing chores. Now, these are actually complete story arcs. This is where they weren't all just self-contained stories in each issue. So this is issue 4 through 6. That's a complete 3-part story for $5. David Hine still. Now this is a complete story arc, issue 7 through 9, and then issue 10 is a self-contained one-shot story, but that is $6. And then the final little bundle, you get issue number 11 through 16. Now this is where each issue once again becomes a self-contained story in each issue. You also get, on issue 16, art done by the late but great John Paul Leon. Yeah. So there you go. So that is a $6 bundle.
We're going to take a quick break.
Oh, break time? All right, let's do it.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome everybody to Fat Jack's Comicrypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I'm your host, Henry Kumpa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in a minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody! Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectibles.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
Hi, I'm Nathan Fox. I'm chair of the MFA Visual Narrative Program at the School of Visual Arts, as well as co-creator and artist on the Weatherman series through Image Comics. And you are watching The Experience.
Hey, what's happening? So the last segment.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so we have a bunch more bundles, but before we get into bundles, let us do another Mr. Oz's Key Books 20 years from now. I actually didn't know, and this is kind of neat. So we have 2 issues here of Alpha Flight, okay? Issue 56 and 57. So here's what makes them, let's call them interesting. So here's issue 56. Let's take a nice little gander of that. All right. First of all, I want to let everyone know that, nope, that's 57. Forget it. Okay. So that's just, who did this cover? Oh, yeah. These are both. Okay. Yeah. So both of these covers from 1988, right before he started to work on Uncanny X-Men, both issue 56 and 57 are Jim Lee and Terry Austin covers, okay? But 56 is also known for being the first cameo appearance of the character Dream Queen. And it is also, you will find out, that the Dream Queen is actually the daughter of the Doctor Strange villain, Nightmare. Yeah, didn't see that one coming. Dream Queen, Nightmare.
No idea.
Yeah. Who would have thunk it? So that is the first cameo appearance of Dream Queen. Who knows? If they ever introduce Nightmare, maybe they'll introduce his extended family, like his daughter, Dream Queen.
Nightmare wasn't in the Doctor Strange one?
No.
Like, not at all? Or
No.
not mentioned at all? Really?
No, but people are still convinced
I would think
that, well, especially because obviously with the introduction of Sleepwalker and the villain Despair in the Marvel Legends toy line, and a character in the trailer that looks a lot like the Sleepwalker villain Cobweb, and this kind of whole connection to like dreams and the madness of the multiverse, all that kind of crap. People are they're just convinced that Nightmare might be. My only problem with that is it's like his first appearance isn't jumping up in value like crazy. And so usually, like, if that's not happening, I think someone knows something. It's in the Strange Tales, which already has value just because.
Isn't it the first Doctor Strange? Like, wasn't he in the first issue of Doctor Strange? Or the first appearance? Or don't they share their first appearances?
I'm actually not sure. That's actually a really good question. Is anyone still watching? If so, what is the first appearance of Nightmare?
Jason, you got the first appearance of Doctor Strange. Is Nightmare in there?
It's true. You got it from us.
I'm sure you read it 100 times.
Oh, yeah. I bet you read it while you were in the bathroom. You went outside on your roof during the rain, and you read your first appearance.
I mean, if you can't find it, don't worry. We didn't take it from your house.
No. Anyway, first cameo appearance of Dream Queen with a Jim Lee, Terry Austin cover, Alpha Flight number 56, Fine Plus copy at only $2. And then issue 57, the first full appearance of our girl Dream Queen. That is also a Jim Lee, Terry Austin cover. No, they do not do the interiors. Just throwing that out there. But this is a very fine copy at $3.
Yeah, so his Straight Tales 110.
Oh, so
his Nightmare.
So the first appearance of Nightmare is the first appearance. Oh, so then so it wouldn't really track like that. Because it's going to go up in value no matter what because of Doctor Strange.
Who was the villain in the first Doctor Strange?
Baron Mordo.
Was it Baron Mordo?
And then the guy played by Mads Mikkelsen. I can't remember his name.
Valhalla Rising?
Yes.
Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah. Hannibal Lecter was the main villain in the first Doctor Strange movie.
Was was his name in that? One Eye? No Eye?
Something like that. Yeah. Yep.
It has nothing to do with anything, but Valhalla Rising is excellent.
It is. It's not for everybody, but man, I love that movie. Oh, it's a trip. But as his follow-up to Drive, a lot of people were very upset.
Was that his follow-up?
That was the follow-up to Drive. Okay. And then right after that, he was going to do another movie with Ryan Gosling, and everyone got really, really excited because they thought it was going to be like Drive. And then he puts out the most Jodorowsky, David Lynch crime movie I've ever seen in Only God Forgives. And let me tell you, I loved it.
Excellent.
But I understand why it makes a lot of people very angry.
It's a weird one.
It's weird. Well, again, man, at the very end of the movie, it goes, thank you, Alejandro Jodorowsky and David Lynch. I mean, I remember watching the movie going, man, this really feels like a Lynchian, and then he says it.
And I don't know the dude's name, the cop in it, but he's excellent.
Oh, the Asian dude, right?
Asian,
yeah,
and like there's like one fight scene in that whole movie.
It's brutal.
It's phenomenal.
But the mother, what was that?
It's
who's the mother? She was so good.
She was in that airplane.
You're right.
The English patient. What's her name? Is that her?
I don't know. We're not gonna stand here and try to trigger our memory. But then the best part is people were so upset at that movie. And then Refn follows that up with Neon Demon, which again I loved. But man, people were so mad at that movie.
People were mad at Drive too. Remember some lady tried to sue?
Because she thought it was Fast and the Furious and there wasn't enough car chases. Yeah. Oh, that movie. Oh man. Really?
You're not a Ryan Gosling fan? Nah. He's
Yeah.
a dreamboat, man. You ever see him with his shirt off?
I can see Gary not being into Nicholas Winding Refn.
No, he doesn't care for Ryan Gosling.
Oh, just Ryan Gosling, not Refn?
I don't know. What are you just making fun of his name?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's Pusher, man, right?
Pusher. Oh,
Yeah.
I love those.
And he even produced sort of an updated, and that was still good.
Yeah.
And that was Mads Mikkelsen in The Pusher,
where
he was playing
he was super young.
the weirdest. He was super skinny and
bald.
bald.
He was like a junkie.
Was he also a white supremacist? Was that a thing?
That I don't know.
I can't remember if that was. Yeah, he was weird as shit.
That's a weird. He's super. It's real frenetic, and he's all high all the time.
Oh, big time. Oh, I really did.
He likes Refn flicks. He
okay.
loathes Gosling.
Okay, likes Refn. Hey, Gary, that's fine. Makes sense. But I love Refn. I never finished the.
You should watch that Behind the Trees. He gets killed in the first 5 minutes.
Oh my God! Yes.
Beyond the Pines.
But yeah, that was it. Beyond the Pines. Yeah, he gets killed pretty quick. And you want to talk about some daddy issues? That movie is chock a block full.
There's there's another one that he's in with Michelle Williams. I think
Blue Valentine.
Yeah.
That movie is depressing.
It's a kick in the ass. That's not a.
That ain't no La La Land, I'll tell you that much.
That's some shit, and then you're like, put in Schindler's List to pick.
Yeah, I need him pick me up. Put on Schindler's List.
No, that movie's rough. That movie's rough to get. Oh, Michelle Williams.
Oh, she's amazing. No, great act. All that. I watched that movie one time and went, I'm never rewatching.
You can't. It's hard to get through the first time.
Yeah.
It's a kick in the ass.
It's rough. And much more rough than something like Manchester by the Sea. It's just depressing.
That's sad point in the rain crap. All right.
Yeah.
Back to work.
You got me. All right. Well, by the way, speaking of sad boys, I finished Sandman. Boy, that thing kicks, man. 30 years later.
I thought you read it. Over.
No. I was recently rereading it the past couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought that was one of your.
No. That was something. No. Scalp was Scalp Preacher. All of the more
shutdown. That's what.
Yeah, during the shutdown, I was reading. No, I hadn't gotten around to Sandman because I didn't want to use my single issues or my first print hardcovers. So I waited for these deluxe editions so I could read them. I know, it happens sometimes.
It's bleeding in.
Yeah, it's
bleeding into your personal life.
It really is, man. All right, speaking of some really dark-ass art, let's talk about a gentleman by the name of Jay Lee. And we have here, right now, his first true comic book work. And that is written by John Byrne. But John Byrne, I guess, decided he didn't want to like draw the book anymore. So with issue 26, Namor becomes the Savage Namor. And we get the introduction to a genuine, again, I know some people don't like his work, but I'm sorry. If you have any, like, Jay Lee is an amazing artist, okay? And this is considered his first comic work. Savage Namor, number 26. This is a high-grade copy at $8. And then we're just going to run through. We have almost the complete run of the Savage Namor. I think we're missing issue 36 and 37. That's it. Okay. So let's just go through these. These are all pretty much very fines. They're all, I think, $3. Yep. They're all very fine. $3. So here we go. Issue 27. Someone's out of control. There you go. Oh, this is a fun one because John Byrne loved teaming up Namor with Iron Fist. So there you go. That is issue 28. Again, man, look at that art. Just bringing a different flavor. I'll tell you that much, especially to comic books that were being published in 1992. This art was not what I would call common. Back in his element. So issue 29. Oh, now we get to a fun one. This is a three-parter? Yeah, this is a three-part Namor versus Doctor Doom. So there's issue number 30. Issue 31. There's Jay Lee doing a great Namor versus Doom fight. And then the final part of this little Doom story, issue 32. And then issue 33. Followed by 34.
You and Gary agree.
Nice.
It's my first time using a computer.
It's true. We've been pretty good.
He loves Johnny.
Yeah, yeah. Jay Lee's the shit.
Did you guys hear the radio? Could you hear it? I don't.
And now we get Tiger Shark, but a really dark, weird-looking Tiger Shark. That's for sure. Definitely not the Tiger Shark that you're used to. So that's Namor 35. And then, like I said, we do not have 36 and 37, but here we have issue 38. Still John Byrne and Jay Lee doing the art. Here we go. All right.
Mr. Lime, you officially have a sound effect for whenever you guys agree. If I can get my shit together, that's going to go off every time. That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, unless you got something, if you want to call it, that's cool.
Yeah? Yeah, you know what? I mean, chat, is there anything you're interested in? Anything? Because, like, we're going to wind it down now.
We'll call it early tonight. Anything you see, or if you're watching this after the fact, you can always Instagram at the FJC Paradox or FJCCShow@gmail.com.
The show email. You can always give us a call here at the shop, 215-963-0788. You can also contact us through our Facebook page, Fat Jack's Comicrypt, but I'm just going to let you know, Al and I do not run the Facebook page. That's an Eric thing.
Eric does that, so if you think you're getting us, don't be flippant in the comments. You won't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and
then you got to deal with Eric.
You can trust me. You don't want to deal with grouchy Eric. I'll tell you that much.
Where's the Iron Fist?
Oh, it's in there. Yep, there it is. Yep. Oh, someone grabbing the Iron Fist and the Tiger Shark?
Mr. Lime's taking
All right, that sounds like a Gary kind of book. Nice, man.
Mr. Lime, I'll get you an invoice too this week. I drag my feet.
Gary, again, man, what a great cover. Look at it. So cool and badass together. Nice. All right, good choice, bud.
Thank you,
All
Joe.
right.
Appreciate it.
And everyone, thank you so much for just hanging out with us, spending time. In fact, here's a question. If you're in the chat right now, anybody an Arthur Adams fan?
First one. First come, first serve.
Yeah, just let me know. Anyone? Just say, yes, I'm an Arthur Adams fan.
First person.
See if it happens. Because I'll show you what I got.
I get the DC Invasion book.
What's that? Invasion, yep.
That's okay, Mr. McHale. My apologies. You did. I forgot about that.
What?
He claimed it earlier, and I told him.
Oh, our bad. No
Thank
problem.
you, Mr. McHale.
It's yours, bud.
You an Art Adams fan?
Just saying, because
Anybody?
here I'm going to the first person to say I want it. It doesn't cost anything. It's yours for free. I didn't even know the hell this thing existed. So Comico Comics, who almost completely died in the 80s, decided in the mid-90s to try to do a comeback. And so this is one of the first books they put out, something called Oblivion. I don't know the writer, I don't know the artist, but for whatever reason, this series only lasted for 3 issues. And yet somehow they got Arthur Adams to do the cover for the first issue and Jeff Darrow to do the cover for the 3rd issue. So I found this and I was like, what the hell is this? I love Arthur Adams and I've never seen this piece before. So first person to be like, I want it. It's yours for free. Nobody wants it. It's just one of those. Gave it a shot. It's
Mr. McHale, there you go.
All right, Mr. McHale.
Falling on his sword for the love of Comico Comics.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, bud. Again, man, free's free. Isn't it? It's fun. Like I found it, I was like, what the hell is this thing?
I feel like Art Adams has hit his lane now. And like with the covers he does.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. We'll just leave it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to be negative for no reason.
I have a feeling he's gotten older. Let's say.
I mean, for sure. Like,
and his style was already so hyper detailed. Yeah, I can imagine.
His covers are great. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't hit the same way it used to.
Yeah, man, 80s. Oh God, man, 80s Arthur Adams was. Oh. No, yeah.
That shit hits like it used to.
We're not 12 anymore. Who would have thunk it? Physical entropy is a real thing. We just keep getting older. Well, with that said, something before we start the
getting older.
Oh yeah. Well, everyone who's still watching, thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's been a blast. As always, we'll be back next week. We'll do the local show on the Fat Jack's Facebook page. That's from 4:30 to like 5:45ish, and then we'll be back here on the Experience from 6 to 8.
No more show for Mike. This is it for the week. So anything you see on the Instagram or on the show, you have to deal with one of us during the week.
Yeah, and the best way to deal with us directly is either through the Instagram page at the FJC Paradox or through the show email, fjccshow@gmail.com. But I'm just going to be honest, the Instagram is a little bit more of a daily watch, while the email is more of like, what would you say, 2 or 3 times a week?
I try to check it every day just to be fair.
Okay.
Just because we had that hiccup.
We did have that, yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, it's not for subscription updates, things like that, unless your name is Melendez and I make special exceptions.
As always, Sam, thanks for the donuts and the coffee.
Donuts, coffee, T-shirts.
Yeah.
You got to start doing that. You can send email for whatever you want.
Hey, man, if you give us probably our new favorite T-shirt, I keep wearing that not during the show.
Yeah, no,
I gotta wear it again for the show.
I have it ready.
Even Eric wears his a lot, all the time.
Mike had it on the other day.
Yeah. Oh, Mike had it on.
Mike was wearing it.
That's awesome, man. It's
That's
great.
the other thing, though. It is. I feel like everybody here, we all own the same shirt.
Yeah, we kind of do.
Because like, there's days when me and Eric will be wearing the same thing.
Yeah. Are the times that Eric and I are wearing the same Hellboy shirt because we all got it for free because we all got swag. Anyway, thanks everybody. Enjoy your week.
New books this week.
Yep.
We're not at war yet.
No. I was trying to find something to be optimistic about. There's a lot to. If you want to be a sad sack like me, there's plenty to focus on.
It's a difficult time.
Yeah.
So
from one difficulty to the next.
Just you got somebody there to hug.
Yeah, but don't forget, you're not alone. You're not alone. Like, please, you're never alone.
We're all collectively in it.
Yeah, we are all in it together. But with that said, everyone, take care, be well, have a wonderful week, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you next week. Take care. Peace.